They say time heals everything. I used to believe that too. But sometimes time doesn't heal. It just teaches you how to live with the pain. My name is Michael. I'm 67 years old, and I've lived in Los Angeles my whole life. People call it the city of dreams. For me, it's the city of ghosts, the kind you make yourself. I met her in 1985. Her name was Laura. She was the kind of woman who made you forget that anything else existed. She painted, not for money, not for anyone's approval, but because colors were the only language she truly trusted. I was 27, working construction jobs to pay rent on a small apartment near Echo Park. She lived across the hall, always barefoot, always humming, always late for something. The first time she talked to me, she said, "You look like someone who doesn't know how to stay still." She was right. I didn't. I was always running. From debt, from responsibility, from the thought that I could ruin something good. We fell in love quietly. No fireworks, no promises, just late-night talks on the roof, morning coffee before work, and the simple, dangerous feeling that this, whatever it was, made sense. But love doesn't stay simple forever. When my father got sick, I left town for a while to take care of him. At first, I called Laura every night, then every few days, then not at all. It wasn't that I stopped caring, it's that I didn't know how to handle someone caring for me back. When I came home months later, she was gone. No forwarding address, no note, just a small painting left behind. A skyline of Los Angeles at dusk, and two silhouettes holding hands under a street lamp. That was nearly 40 years ago. Life went on. I married once. It didn't last. I told myself I was too busy, too tired, too old for love. But sometimes, late at night, I'd walk through the same streets Laura used to paint. The same corners, the same light, the same silence. And I'd wonder where she went, if she ever thought about me. The years stacked quietly on top of each other, until last spring. It was a Tuesday morning. I was sitting on my porch, feeding the birds, when the phone rang. A voice I didn't know said, "Is this Michael Turner?" I said yes. The voice continued, "This is Dr. Ramos from St. Vincent's Hospital. You were listed as an emergency contact for a patient, a Laura Jennings." I froze. Laura. After all those years, she was still in the city, and she was dying. When I walked into her hospital room, she was asleep. She looked smaller than I remembered. Older, of course, but still her. Same freckles, same faint smile. Her eyes opened when I said her name. "Michael," she whispered. I nodded. She smiled softly. "You look exactly how I imagined." I didn't know what to say. Decades of silence between us, and all I could do was sit beside her and hold her hand. She told me she'd never left Los Angeles. She'd spent her life teaching kids to paint. She never married. And she looked at me, right through me, and said, "I always waited for your call." Those 6 words cut deeper than anything I'd ever heard. We talked for hours about everything and nothing, about the things we built and the things we broke, about the time we wasted being proud instead of honest. I told her I was sorry. She smiled. "You don't owe me an apology, Michael. You were just scared." She was right. I was scared of needing someone that much, of being the reason they'd hurt someday. Before I left that night, I asked her if she wanted anything. She said, "There's a letter in my bag. Read it when I'm gone." I didn't ask what it said. Maybe I didn't want to know. 2 days later, she passed away. Peacefully, they said. I sat in my truck outside the hospital for hours before I opened that letter. It was written in her soft, slanted handwriting. It said, "Michael, I painted you into every sunset. Every time the sky turned orange, I saw you there, standing where we once stood. I wanted to hate you for leaving, but I couldn't. Because you gave me the best kind of hurt, the one that proves you were real. If you ever find this letter, don't be sorry. Just promise me you'll stop running. Laura." I read it 100 times. Each time her voice got quieter in my head until it blended with the sound of the city outside my window. Every evening now I walk to Eco Park, the same place where we first met. The city's changed, but some things never do. The air still smells like paint and coffee. The palm trees still catch the last light of the day. And when the sun sets behind the hills, I swear I still see her there, barefoot, humming, brush in hand. Sometimes I whisper her name. The city never answers, but the wind does. People think forgiveness is something you give to others, but they're wrong. Forgiveness is what you give yourself when you finally stop pretending you were fine. I never got to tell her everything, but I think, wherever she is, she already knows. Because every time the sun touches the skyline, I feel her hand in mine again, and I say quietly, "I'm not running anymore."